Hi guys, I just wanted to update you on the garden and everything. It's been a while, so I just figured I'd come back and show you. I'm gonna flip you around here. All right, so in the greenhouse I now only have the jalapeno plants and onions because those are the only ones that are actually thriving in here. So the jalapeno plants are absolutely loving it. I took the grates off the top so that they can grow up. Because this is the spot that they love being in, and this is the spot I'm going to keep them in. So these are my jalapeno plants. They're not the crazy gigantic ones that you find in the store. They're just these little tiny things. They're not particularly spicy hot or anything like that. Quite honestly, maybe it's just me, but I don't think that jalapenos are supposed to be crazy hot. So when you get those crazy hot jalapenos, I feel like there's something wrong. But yeah, see the little tiny, I mean, this one's still growing obviously, but they're not huge. They're not, these giant GMO looking jalapenos. And then the green onion, still thriving in the heat here. This is the white onion that I planted a while ago. I think it's finally spent. I do have the bulbs at the bottom here that I'll probably pull off and try to use, but aside from that, we just keep clipping and they just keep growing back. So I'm very, very pleased with my green onion. Love it very much. And just to show you, that's the temperature in here right now at 11:19 in the morning in the greenhouse. So the hottest I've seen it in here is 131. Yes, that is very hot. Yes, we are in the desert in the middle of the summer, so of course it's going to be, ridiculously hot. But for whatever reason, they're absolutely loving it in here. All I do is just soak the containers to where they're like filling up, and then I let them drain, and then I just leave them alone for the rest of the day. That's all that they need. That's all that they care about. I make sure that I water the plant so that if there's any bugs in here that are, thriving off of the heat and the other little bugs, then they have water. So aside from that, that's the greenhouse. Let me walk over. My sunflower finally died, which is normal. Sunflowers don't live forever. They're not perennials. So I did cut the head off of it, and I'm going to see if I can harvest any sunflower seeds. So I'm going to turn you back around again. This is my wisteria that I had over there with the sunflower. She was not happy with the direct desert sun, so I moved her over here. They are supposed to be full sun plants, but I don't think full desert sun plants is what they are, so I decided to give her a little break. This is the canna lily. Remember that ugly thing from a while back? This was the first flower. It is now obviously died. This is the second here. It is in process of dying. This is the third. She is still growing. And then we have a fourth right here that's going to come out. So she's absolutely loving it here, loving the heat. Again, I soak the pot. I only have to water them once a day because of that. And she's just absolutely thriving. So that's wonderful. This is I want to call it a bromeliad. I believe that's what they are. Actually, I think that's wrong, because now that I say that, a bromeliad is a different plant. This is the red waxy plant that I can't remember the name of. And I understand what it looks like on the outside, but if you move these leaves, you have fresh, healthy ones underneath. And the reason why I keep these leaves is so that it blocks the extreme sun from the healthy ones underneath. This is a weed, that I had in the garden, and I thought it was a very interesting looking plant, so I took it out and I repotted it to see what it would do. I have taken pictures of it to see if I can figure out what it is. I've been told that it's a tree, so we'll see what happens, but I don't know if you can see it, but you see these really cool little pink spikes on it. It's just a really interesting little plant. So that'll be interesting to see what more it does. This is a mystery plant, and the reason why I call it a mystery plant is because for whatever reason I woke up one morning, I went out to my garden, and it was in a rusty can in my garden. It was much smaller than it is now, and so we still have no idea where the mystery plant came from, but I thought it was kind of cool. You see how it's fuzzy? I don't know, guys. I don't know. This one is my wandering, I think they call it a wandering Jew, but I'm sure it has another name, probably a more scientific name. It was dying, and now it's come back. I mean, it's an interesting little plant. I just keep watching it to see what it's gonna do, and you know, I mean, parts of it look like it's gross, but I mean, that's just what happens in nature. Parts of it die, parts of it thrive. So we're just giving it all the love. Up here, my strawberry plant is thriving. We did have a couple of strawberries on here, but because they were the first fruit of the plant, I didn't want to do anything with it. I just wanted to let it do its thing. It is now grown in size. It's loving it, so we're leaving it. And then remember my tomato plant? The one that was dying? She's back, you guys. She's back, she's living, loving, she's just happy here, and I'm absolutely thrilled for her. So what I've done, I don't know if you can see that dirt, it looks really dry, but what I've done is I did a little bit more research on the tomato plants, and they do not like their feet being soaking wet, feet meaning their roots. So what I've done is I've taken an old beer bottle, obviously washed it, rinsed it, whatever, and I'm using it as one of those like water globes. I don't know if you can see the water in there a little bit. And she is absolutely loving that idea. It has helped her grow so much. And when the dirt gets like this, I'll probably do it tomorrow, but when the dirt gets like this, hello, I will just water the top of it just to keep it moist on the top. But this little bottle right here does exactly what she needs. So if you're having problems with your tomato plants, clean out a glass bottle and then invert it into the soil. And when you do, try to shove it down as much as you can, obviously without harming the roots, so that the soil will get up into the neck of it and allow the water to drain slowly. Over here, I'm not sure, I can't remember exactly what I had included in my previous films, videos, but these are my bell pepper plants. They have finally gotten to a point where they are sturdy enough to come outside and withstand the breeze, and I leave them in this area because they can learn to deal with the heat, but they don't have the direct sun on them. So apparently it's called hardening off, to where you're acclimating them to the temperatures outside. The reason for this is because they're going to get to the point where they're too big to stay in the house, and I want to be able to get them acclimated to the outside so that once we get into the winter season and all of that, they can go into the greenhouse where it will hopefully be warm enough for them to thrive in there. And then lastly, the flower garden. The lilies took a little bit of a heat hit, unfortunately. They are still surviving, but you know, with the extreme heat temperatures here, you know, we're in the high 90s to over hundreds. That's just unfortunately what's going to happen. Same with this one here. You can see that it's still living on this side, but because of that morning sun, it might be getting just a little bit too much. You know, the thing is that when flowers are in a natural setting like a garden or like just in nature, this is what's going to happen. They're not always going to be beautiful. Sorry, Mr. Spider. They're not always going to be beautiful. They're not always going to, you know, be these prize-winning flowers. So, you know, you're going to have, you know, the browning, you're going to have the death of the flower, because that's just the life of plants. It's the same thing over here with this hosta. You know, she's been alive for a little while now, and you know, it's probably just time for those leaves to fade. So, but we do have a little leaf down there, so it's not like she isn't growing. It's not like she's not, you know, continuing to live. It's just, this is just the process. These are those little red flowers I was telling you about. Nice little delicate ones. We're getting some flowers here on the bleeding hearts. I have a praying mantis. Gotta love those praying mantises. They help with the bugs. And these, excuse me, it's a little warm out here. These guys over here are just thriving. They were super tiny when I bought them, and now they're just absolutely loving their space over here. So yeah, that's the those are the Coleuses. I apologize. Coleus. Everybody seems to be doing okay. Everybody's surviving the heat as much as they can. I'm definitely giving them a lot of love and water right now because of that heat. So and then when winter comes, I'm going to be when winter comes, I'm going to be putting like a cover over them and putting down some like mulch to be able to keep the warmth in, so that the roots don't freeze, and then everything I've read says to water them once a week because of the cold. So that's probably what we're gonna end up doing, but once we get there, I'll let you guys know. Okay guys, thanks.